My name is Blitz The Ambassador, artist, producer, filmmaker. My journey through music has been crazy. My beginnings were in high life music, Afrobeat music, more music that's indigenous to Africa. So that growth has kind of been a long journey, and it has manifested itself now in a hybrid of sounds where I'm still as Rakim as they get, but I'm still as Fela as it gets. That's the goal, is to create something with that hybrid.
Gotta admit it, homie, you need me. Tired of watching the same videos, throwing remote at your TV. Like, damn, what you gonna do when I let it go? Turn it out when you had a bang on the radio. Give it up, gotta be the flow so critical. I'm still up originally, you rhyme so pitiful. Slow down, Blitz, these kids is dyslexic. Got a whole horn section when I'm banging with optics like.
It's beautiful. It was beautiful to see hip hop come to Africa the way it did. We were fortunate to get, the PEs, the KRSs, the Rakims, got the whole native tongue movement. You know what I mean? We saw that, and we saw ourselves in that. You seen the medallions. You're like, oh man, they love us. They like us. If you knew somebody who was traveling, gave him an empty tape, gave him an empty videotape. They popped it in, taped the whole day of BET, brought it home with commercials and all. We sit back at the barbershop, huddled up, everybody, barefooted, bare chested, whatever, just watching, imitating. So it's crazy. So BET shot this piece where it was on. It's called The Deal. I don't even know if they still run The Deal, but they showed it here at 3 a.m. Nobody here saw it, but they run that like weekly on BET International. So literally, I'm walking down the street and people know who I am. If you have basic cable in Ghana, you got BET and BET International. And so just in the past 6 months to a year, people have gotten put onto what I'm doing, in a way that I was even amazed.
Yes, this is the calm before the storm. Ambassador returns, you can hear it in the horns. Blast on stage, the aftershock a whole mile away. From Mogabe with us, Aubrey in Zimbabwe, watching the people starving. You want the block clutching on your Glock, cause you can't afford the new Jordans. Either way, we all collide. The preachers, the pimps, the sneakers, the Timbs, we all walk the line. Still waiting for the government to bail out the hood. Just free all the brothers that's jailed up for good.
I mean, there are a lot of messages on the record. The album cover itself was a message. A guy, boombox, gun to his head, blowing out his brain. That got a lot of people angry, got a lot of people happy. But that was the goal, was to provoke thought. Overall, my goal has always been to let people know that Africans come in different shapes, sizes, mentalities, everything. You can't judge them just by saying, all right, that's just all these people on this continent. We all come from different circumstances. We all have different ambitions and aspirations. The continent is the richest continent on this planet. When people talk about Africa and they talk about the poverty, I laugh. I'm like, gee, it's like we're beyond rich. And I'm not just talking about what's in the earth and I'm talking about culture. Nobody touches that. You see these same people be able to weave a pattern of fabric out of yarn. Forget about it. Your brain can't even comprehend that. You know what I'm saying? The old dude actually, while I was just home, he dropped a gem on me that blew my mind. He was like, "Yo, man, when I'm in Europe, I tell them, you're so poor, all you have is money." You know what I mean? And my whole week was shattered off of that. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, all you got is loot. You know what I mean? Where's the connection to the earth? Where's the connection to the people? Where's the connection to, the future? You know what I mean? So there's a lot about the continent that if you haven't been, you're just not gonna understand. If you watch National Geographic looking for the answers, you're lost. You know what I mean? Because that lens is tainted. You know what I mean? It is a team effort, man, and we all grind to be able to have something that, you know, a hip-hop head can watch and be like, yo, I'm thoroughly entertained, man, and, you know, I paid my money and got my money's worth, you know. The show is sharp, man. It comes at you from many, many directions, and my goal has always been to, like I said earlier, you know, let everybody know all of this is connected to the crib. It's all these rhythms, all these things you're hearing. Without Africa, you take Africa out the equation, you got nothing. You know what I mean? And so that musical migration is what we do when we perform. Here's a kid that came from Africa, had a chance, and did it for his people. You know what I mean? And that's why I grind. You know what I mean? I want my people to have an opportunity to be represented and represented right. You know what I mean? And that is one of the biggest things. It means everything to me. And my hope is that when it's all said and done, people will be able to recognize and say, yo, man, he went hard for his people.
Hey, yo, the ghetto is red hot. Dead cops rock and sell blocks. Gang signs to the air, dying to get shot. Liquor stores next to the church. Preacher man's next to the dirt. Yeah, they blame it on hip hop. Wonder how we went from pyramids to projects. Wise men told me got us all around us.